Matthias Google, not spelled the way, just spelled different, like Bubba Gump Shrimp, director of the State External Affairs for the NTUF, the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. Matthias joining me now about the massive fallout if this tax reform fails. Hi, Matthias.
Hi, Fawn. How's it going?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, we need this to happen for our small businesses, because if it doesn't, all hell's going to break loose.
Oh, tell me about it. If at the end of the year, we're looking at seeing these Trump tax cuts expire, the Trump tax cuts that came in 2017, that we've been seeing a lot of benefit for over the last 5-8 years. We've been seeing wonderful economic impact for this, and this has been happening for so many American families. But they expire at the end of the year. They expire at the end of December, and if that happens, the average tax filer in Missouri is going to see $2,200 less of their money next year.
Holy
In Illinois, that's $2,800, and in Kentucky, that's $2,300. That's automatic. Without you doing anything, without anyone doing anything, you're just going to see the government take that much more out of your paycheck next year.
So what do we do? I mean, I know all of the Missouri legislators, senators, House of Representatives, everybody, they're all fighting for it, but it's all in this big, beautiful bill. They might have to wiggle something around to make this happen.
Certainly. So the important thing is for your listeners there to understand that this is happening. A lot of people don't even understand that something this big is going to happen on December 31st if we don't do anything. So reaching out to your senators saying, hey, this is a priority for me. This is a priority for my family. Because without it, it means we're not going to be able to afford another month's mortgage payment. It means we're not going to be able to afford that semester of community college. It means that used car that we were going to try to buy so that we could get back and forth to our jobs, it's not going to happen, and all that's going straight to the IRS.
Yeah.
So it's important for your listeners to realize this is happening and to reach out and say, hey, don't play these DC games. Understand that you're actually impacting my pocketbook and the pocketbooks of our friends and our neighbors and our main streets, and without it, our economy is going to crumble.
80% tax hike. 80% of families are going to have this tax hike, and I want you to let that sink in. 80% of the households in America are going to be affected by this big time. Not to mention small businesses are going to probably shutter pretty quickly.
Exactly. What happened once upon a time is they said, you know what, this is just a tax cut for the rich. I don't know, but I don't think 80% of Americans are the rich.
Yeah.
My friends and neighbors don't certainly feel that way with rising utility costs, rising gas prices, rising grocery prices. But this is going to impact such a big part of our economy. And listen, government is used to doing this. They're used to being like, hey, are people really going to notice this?
Yes.
Are they really going to notice if we're going to take more out of their payroll taxes,
yes,
if we're going to regulate their transactions more, if we're going to regulate how small businesses use their credit card fees and make it so that they can't negotiate a fair price, but they've just sort of Obamacared it, and we put so many regulations on it that no one can even afford to accept credit cards anymore.
Yeah.
Government's impacting you at so many different levels of this, and it's important for us as taxpayers, as citizens, to really pay attention and to stand up at a time like this.
Well, you got to remember, too, we were talking about just our little region here, but most of my family's in Arizona and North Dakota. So if your tax codes are tied directly to federal law, you are going to sink like the Titanic. And that includes, just to name for you, Matthias, the 10 states. It's Colorado, Connecticut, Montana, New York, North Dakota, New Jersey, New Mexico, Nebraska, Maryland, Oregon. Now, some are very rural and some are very metro. So it's everybody.
Well, and it's your listeners, too.
Yep.
What's important is that in Missouri, in Illinois, in Kentucky, there are all provisions that automatically sort of adjust to how federal law works. So your state lawmakers, those that are representing you in Jefferson City, that are representing you in Springfield, they also have to be on the lookout because there could be automatic trigger provisions that mean that you automatically pay more, not only in that $2,200 I was saying in your federal taxes, but you also might pay more in your state taxes. So it sort of has that domino effect as well that voters need to be on the lookout for.
I really don't think Pritzker cares if he hurts his people with taxation or not, because the guys fell off the loony box. But I know that our governor cares very much, and I really do feel like Missouri has their finger on the pulse with the people we have in office. But I hope that they are listening and paying attention, and I hope that all of you are going to go to their websites and send them a note. Find out who your district rep is. Find out who your state rep is. Find out who your national reps are, whether you're in Illinois, Kentucky, or Missouri. I could name them all off for you, but I want more time with Matthias. I think if you have, more than 10 brain cells, you're paying attention to at least who your leaders are. But I know the NTUF is you're very worried about this, and I know December sounds like it's far way off, but getting these guys to do anything is like pulling out all of your own teeth.
Amen. And what's important, too, is, I've been watching what's been happening in Missouri. A bill just was passed to try to reduce taxes on capital gains, to eliminate taxes on capital gains, so that you can help your family farmers, so that you can help people that are, investing in their first rental property, so that you can keep more of what you've earned. All of those savings are going to be wiped out if we're not doing something like this. So I want to applaud, first of all, your state lawmakers in Missouri that are focused on tax cuts, Speaker John Patterson and others that are working really hard to try to make it so that small businesses, so that family farms can thrive. But there's a real important threat that this might be undone.
And that's it. It's looming. I want people to understand it's literally looming. And I don't know if we can take this aspect of the big, beautiful bill out of it and just work on it singularly. I don't know if I know the budget has to be passed. It has to be a budget. But I don't know if this could be a singular issue. Is that possible, Matthias?
I think there's so many issues tied into this. I think that's idealistic. I would love for that to happen. Wouldn't it be great if Congress could vote on just one thing at a time?
At least this one thing. At least this one.
Yes, but I think there's going to be a lot of different aspects tied into this, and I really hope that tax cuts are a priority and that we're not looking at trying to raise tax cuts on others in order to do it. What we need to remember is some of our basic economics is that when you are given the freedom to thrive, when you're given lower taxes, it means the economy is going to flourish so that you expand the tax base. I know that's confusing.
You're making logic. You're being logical. Some people's brains are going to explode.
I know it's confusing to understand, but when you're allowed to have more freedom, when government regulates you less, when they tax you less, our businesses are going to thrive. They're going to be able to export more. They're going to be able to produce more. They're going to be able to be more innovative. And when we do that, it's going to mean that we're going to be able to fund the important things.
Oh, somebody just said my mango messiah is going to bankrupt the country. You, my friend, are a moron. Let me just go there. Everything that he's doing is for the benefit of America. Even the tariffs, which the national news cannot apparently shut up about. They're working. They're working. And the UK, Northern Ireland, even China is talking to them, even though they won't admit it. So they're working. Give them time. It's the art of the deal. But right now, we want to make sure that these tax cuts stay in place. So do your due diligence and contact your representatives at the state and national level and let them know we need this to happen. Now, Jason Smith, not only a very close personal friend of mine, but head of the Ways and Means Committee, and also a firehouse of fighting for the people to not have to pay more taxes. I mean, Amen. He's all in on this. He is all in, and he's fighting hard, but he's one man. You got to call everybody else.
Exactly. It's important for people to know that they're not just looking out for their wealthy, bankrolling campaign donors, that they're not, like, the special interests are loud, and that's important to know. I used to work in the State House. I used to work in Wisconsin's State Senate, and when the squeaky wheel really does get the grease. It's unfortunate to say that, and I think I'm so glad that you are so intent on letting your listeners know what's going on, and letting them know how to
intense,
contact their
Matthias.
legislators because they need to be the squeaky wheel.
They do, and I want them not just to squeak. I want them to be fingernails on a chalkboard because this has to happen. Because I can't afford to lose a penny of my money to things that they're going to go spend on crap that doesn't even help me. They're going to go spend it on stupid crap and government entitlement programs that a lot of you don't even deserve because you're lying about your disability. You just want to sit on your porch and smoke cigarillos. I'm so tired of it. I want all of us to be able to thrive from the top to the bottom. I don't hate rich people. I'd like to be one day. So Stop acting like there's this line of demarcation in humanity where some deserve to have good and some deserve to have not. That's not how the government works. Whether you're successful or not is on you. So how many taxes you pay is on your representatives, and that's where your focus should be, not on hating the rich. Stop it.
Now, if your voters want to become more informed, they can check out our report at ntu.org/states. That's ntu.org/states. They can look up what's happening state by state across the nation. And there's an important dollar amount we haven't even talked about yet, which is the total amount of this tax hike, which is $500 billion.
God help us.
That's a huge number, and it's going to be shouldered by working families. This isn't about billionaires. This isn't about loopholes. It's about families that are just trying to afford daycare and a used minivan. It's about a couple trying to pay off student loans. They're saving for a house. And it's about a small business owner trying to choose between hiring or holding on. They're the ones who get squeezed if Washington can't get its act together. Mm-hmm. And I hope your listeners will do their part and stand up.
Yeah, stand up. NTU, say it again.
NTU.org/states is our report. And take a look at that. It's a lot of numbers and a lot of data, but you'll be well informed to be able to go talk to your senators about this.
Yeah, so every single person send an email. It'll take you 5 minutes. Say, vote for the tax cuts. Vote for the tax cuts. Fight, stand up, do green eggs and ham. Filibuster like the last idiot who wasn't even trying to filibuster anything, just wanted attention. Corey, what is wrong with Corey anyway? But let's make this happen. Let's save small businesses. Let's save ourselves and from our government by keeping these tax cuts in place. They're not hurting anybody by letting us keep more of our money. It's helping the economy continue to boom. You want prices to come down? They're probably not going to. Maybe a little bit, but if you have more money, you can afford to pay them. I want to thank Matthias Google, which is just the coolest name ever, Director of State External Affairs at the NTUF. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Fawn.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.